Boop, 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 boop. Boop, boop, beep, up, up. All right, and we're live. uh, oh, we're back. We're back in business. All right, firing on all cylinders. Yes, yes. How hard do you nerd? Thank you for watching via Twitch. We will be going live in just a few seconds. Oh, it's been a while since I've been on. I've got to proceed. Log in. It's gonna ask me to do this. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. My volume is all the way up. All the way turned. There we go. James Chumley, thank you for watching. All right. Good to go. All right. Looks like I'm live all the way across the board. Holler if you hear me. Let me hear you say hey. Jonathan Trick followed me. Thank you, Jonathan, for the follow. We are a minute and a half from actually getting some video here. Moody Blooms, thanks for following me. We've got, who is this? Can't read your names. Hey, Aaron Mariachi XL, thank you for following me. James Chumley, hey, over on Facebook. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, we are rocking and rolling, y'all. We are rocking and rolling. I cannot wait for the stream. How's the music coming in? Is that music coming in okay? Streamlab Music's. That music. Editor. Make sure the Streamlab Music is actually working. Okay. It looks like it's working now. Back to the editor. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Yep. All right. All right. Well, we're 5 minutes in, so let's get this party rolling. Screen. Ta-da! Hey, everybody. Oh, it's been a wild and wacky couple of months for us here in Houston, Texas. I'm back. I'll be streaming for the long haul again. Hurricane Beryl did a number on us. Knocked out the power for over a week. Knocked out internet for almost 2 weeks. Even up to yesterday, we were having issues with our internet connection. Got friends out and a little further north of us that still don't have internet. Still working with whatever they can get out there. And the community is still generally recovering, but we are back. We are here to stream. We are here to have fun. We are here to show you some really cool games. So thank you very much for watching. I'm very excited to get this going. So without further ado, we're going to talk about some of the new games that have come across my table today and over this past week. So first we're going to start with I played Lorcana and was streaming Lorcana for a little bit, and I got my hands on the Illuminator's Quest because both of my girls are very excited about playing something that is Disney oriented. Lorcana is a very fun and simple card game where you are not actively trying to smother your opponent. You are trying to gain as many resources as possible, as fast as possible, and that's why I like the game. It was made with a multiplayer system built in, so multiplayer is ready to go. And with the addition of this, the Illuminator's Quest, it is co-op now. So you and your friends can play together and battle the Sea Witch Ursula and have fun doing it. Gives you a lot of really neat ways to fight at different difficulty levels in this one box. We are not going to open this on stream today. We're going to save it for a different day. I just picked this up yesterday, and I am very excited to play it with my girls and actually my nerd bros, because we have talked about Lorcana for a very long time, and I am putting the finishing touches on my DuckTales deck, and so I'm very excited about that. But we're going to bust this open on a different day. What I would like to bust open today is what I had talked about on a previous stream and also on my Facebook page. There is a very cool card game coming out called Clan Wars. It's made by a gentleman from Texas. I can't say Houston because he's actually further south from Houston, but he has been putting in the footwork all over Houston, traveling to game stores, organizing demos, organizing tournaments, giving away tons and tons and tons of cards, and he's built this game from the ground up. And he's seen what I do, and he's asked a few questions, and he's contacted me, and I saw what he was doing. Clan Wars, the artwork is beautiful, and this really was what caught my eye. And the concept of it being not a friendly game, a game where you're actively trying to destroy your opponent, much like Magic, much like a lot of the other card games out there, but with sort of like a neo fairy tale feel to it. And I was like, I like the look of the cards. I like what they're doing with the theme. So I really want to check it out. The creator was kind enough to send us a few of the demo decks. I've had these demo decks sitting in the package. I'm going to switch over the camera view. They have been sitting in the package for weeks. I've had these for almost 2 weeks now. Actually, the end of July, so 3 weeks now. And I have been sitting and waiting so I could stream this opening because I promised them that I would. So we are going to open the package. Don't laugh at my safety scissors. They work. Cut it open. Now these aren't normal demo decks. Sebastian, the creator, built these decks for me. They are custom built decks, right? These are playtest cards, right? These are even beyond the alpha original release. These are playtest cards, so we are getting a first look at some of these cards that he's come out with for Clan Wars, the TCG. If you want to check it out, he does a lot of marketing on Instagram, great videos. He is all over the Houston area. He really loves Fat Ogre Games and Comics and the Woodlands. I love Fat Ogre Games and Fat Ogre and the Woodlands. Great people, and Dennis and CJ. So we're gonna go crack this deck open and see what he built me. Now, This is just a little disclaimer that I have no idea what's going to be in these decks, and some of these cards can be a little over the top and not great for younger children. This is definitely not a Disney-esque deck. So let's see what we got here. We've got Brood, friend of dying animals. Oh, look, taking care of these little woodland creatures. Unfortunately, I have no idea how to play this game yet, but Sebastian has contacted me time and time again to try and set up a demo via video chat. So we'll be doing that here pretty soon because I am very interested in learning how to play and how to figure this out. And so I have one of these already. He sent me like a couple of packs of cards, and I've got this Wraithrall. And it looks like a little undead kiddo. Ooh, Umabat. Cute little teddy bear monster. So this, like I said, this is a very Neo meta card game, right? So we got a card here called Karen. I'm just going to read you what it says because I'm sure it's over the top and super hilarious. While you control Karen, your opponent cannot play agents with a cost of 3 or 4, or Karen will yell at them and go viral. Each turn you control Karen, your active boss loses 1 HP permanently. She has a trained specialty that says, destroy a neighbor to move Karen to target frontline space under your opponent's control. So essentially you can play Karen and then dish her out to your opponent. Just fling her across the board and make your opponent take care of her. So that's pretty funny. All right, so I got a sneak peek at the next card that's coming up right here. Whoop. Fabio, the illegal bookseller. So again, very meta, very cutesy for those of us who are old enough to remember the handsome, debonair male model Fabio. Illegal bookseller. While you control Fabio, your active boss cannot be KO'd as a result of HP reaching 0. Oh, interesting. Each turn you control Fabio, your active boss loses 1 HP permanently. Oh, and you can flip. This is another one. So this right here, Karen and Fabio. Pull them out and then flick them across to your opponent, and then your opponent has to deal with them. Ooh. Leona, Flames of Serenity. That's in the frame. If Leona's battle opponent rolls a 5 or a 6, that opponent must reroll. Folly Molly, the drug dealer. No agent or producer may share a lane with Folly Molly. If an agent or producer does, they must be moved to an unoccupied space. If no space exists, the agent or producer is sent back to its owner's hands. Wow. So I believe that this is done in like rows or channels. So that makes sense. Lane, like it says. Oh, look at this little bit of history. Calvin, the Hobbs Whisperer. If Calvin is KO'd or destroyed by another agent, take control of the agent who KO'd or destroyed Calvin and move it to the space previously occupied by Calvin. Oh, okay. This deck looks like it's manipulating your opponent, throwing things onto his side of the board, taking his cards. Vorun, the Vorpal Swordsman, has an additional cost. To play Vorun, you must destroy another agent you control. Vorun can only battle producer lane rivals. If Vorun deals any damage to a producer, the producer is instantly KO'd. Alright, so insta-death character. Levent, Oi's disciple. When this agent enters the field, your opponent must discard their entire hand. Oh, yes. So, top left-hand corner, there are, like in Magic, there's types, right? So this is like an Earth type. This is a Wind type. I was talking to Sebastian about how in Magic I love playing blue or blue-black because I'm all about discarding my opponent's hands, control, reversing their spells, just being a legitimate pain. I'm not friendly in Magic. So these are the cards that I was telling him that I really wanted to look into and pick up, because I want to build something similar to that, with either hand destruction or making my opponent mill, take cards from the top of their deck and throwing them immediately into the discard, just not even giving them a chance to play those cards. Kari Kumo. For every 1 point of damage Kari takes in a battle against a devious opponent, your opponent must yeet 1 card. Again, I've got to get the rule book, because I can only assume that yeet means discard, and I love it. Ricin Despertado. Ooh. Man, I really hope that's not something in Spanish, and I'm just completely missing it. Every action phase that Despianado. What? That might be it. Despianado has neighbors. Your opponent discards 3 cards. Oh, so maybe yeet means mill and discard is from the hand. Oh, all right. I like that card. I like that card very much. That is ridiculous. All right. Gusto, the precision shooter. And this actually has sort of like an anime. I see this and I think of Trigun. The art is fantastic. Gusto may not attack agents or bosses. Gusto may attack your opponent's deck directly. If your opponent's deck loses the battle, for every point of damage it takes, your opponent yeets 1 card. Whew. When Gusto deals damage to an opponent's deck, it deals 2d6 damage. Wow. If you crit 2d6, right, 12 damage, they're gonna yeet or mill 12 cards. I like that very much. Oh, that's so mean. Ooh. Kamikaze Windstormer. When Kamikaze enters the field, destroy every one of your opponent's agents. Then your opponent must draw cards and play agents from the drawn cards at no cost until all frontline spots are filled. All other cards drawn are discarded. Wow. So if they're not playing a very character-heavy deck, you might be able to mill them out. Zavivol. When Zavivai. When Zavivai intercepts an attack, the opponent's agent's battle roll determines X. If Zavivai survives the battle, your opponent must yeet X cards. Scholar. Vent du Matin. Every action phase that Scholar has a lane rival agent, your opponent must yeet 3 cards. I am loving the sound of this deck more and more as I'm reading it over and over and over. I am thinking that this is exactly what I was looking for. Oh yeah, it's all coming together. Windwall Nightingale. Windwall can only be blocked by lane rival. When Windwall battles, your opponent yeets cards equal to Windwall's battle roll. Yes. Sora Imi. For every 1 point of damage Sora takes in a battle against a gifted opponent, your opponent must yeet 1 card. Yes, this is... He heard my cries. He heard my pleas. He saw what I was looking for, and he built the deck. Windwellen Always Vaxxed. Let me see what she's wearing. Always Vaxxed. During your opponent's resource phase, your opponent discards a card at random from their hand, destroys a trigger card in the LNL pile, and yeets 1 card. Yeet. At the beginning of your action phase, roll a d6 to determine X. During the action phase, your opponent may yeet X cards to prevent 1 point of damage dealt to an agent, producer, or boss. Your opponent may do this as many times as they wish, so long as this agent is ready. Oh. Interesting. Guess that's just giving them a chance to be like, no, don't hurt me, I'll yeet, yeet, yeet. And then you hit them with the yeet. Sutsu Ventoso. Sutsu attacks only during your opponent's setup phase. Sutsu may not attack agents or bosses. They're too ugly. That's written on the card. They're too ugly. Sutsu may attack your opponent's hand directly. If your opponent's hand loses the battle, for every 1 point of damage it incurs, your opponent discards 1 card. With Aiden's Backbone. For every 1 point of damage Whiff takes in a battle against a strong opponent, your opponent must yeet 1 card. Again, with the yeet. I love it. I love it. I love it. This is heading back into the, it looks like the Earth style. Ape Danger Lufus. So, not Monkey D. Lufus. Pyratos Rex. Oh, so a passive ability. Any agents you control that have lane rivals get +2 to battle when battling their lane rival. And then once per turn, during your setup phase, roll 1d6 to determine the X. This turn, your opponent's agent's bribe costs are reduced by X. I'm not sure what bribe costs are, but maybe that's to pull them over to your side. Hey Brandon, thanks for watching. Greatly appreciated over on Facebook. Alright, so Grandolfu. For every point of damage Grandolfu takes, your opponent must destroy a card they control. Written on the card. Mwahahahaha. Oh, Aiden. Where is he? There we go. So we had with Aiden's Backbone. Now we have Aiden. This is a win card. So it says Aiden the Oxygen Obliterator. Oy. During your opponent's end phase, for every card they burn, they must yeet 1 card. I think this has to be the hero or whatever it is. Oh, look at this big beefy boy. Ulfdar, Typhoon Ruinist. Runist? Typhoon Runist. So when he comes into the field, roll 2d6 to determine X. Target player must yeet X cards. So anytime he comes in, he's making them yeet at least 2 cards. Hopefully more. Golar the Wind Whisperer. I think we've already come across this one before. Scholar, yes. Oh, this is a new one. Despeinado por el Viento. As long as Despeinado is a producer, your opponent may not draw more than 2 cards during their draw phase. Hand Denial, I like it. I like it very much. Nima, the Wind Spirit. Once per turn, at the start of your opponent's resource phase, roll a d6 to determine X. Opponent must discard and yeet a combination of X cards. Okay. So discarding is from your hand. Yeeting has to be milling. That's what I'm getting. And I like it. I like it a lot. Another Nima? There's 2 Nimas. So we have Nima the Wind Spirit and then Nima Cold Front. So it says, for every card you burn, opponent must yeet 3 cards. I think it should say an opponent. So in case there's multiplayer. For every card you burn, an opponent must yeet 3 cards. They look identical. And she has a little $40 symbol here in the bottom. Guquin, Wind Manipulator. For every aura an opponent pays, they must yeet 1 card. Oh, OE. OE was one of the cards we had seen at the very beginning. Spirit Chaser. Once per turn, discard X cards and draw X cards. Your opponent yeets 2 times the cards. 2 X cards. What? I'm gonna have to get a ruling on that because that can't be two. Discard X cards and draw X cards. Your opponent yeets 2 X cards. Once per turn. That's crazy. Okay, and so these look like some of the cards that can kind of go into every deck. Let's play my game instead. Negate the KOing of your producer. Instead, you and the attacking opponent each roll a d6. The player with the higher roll is the winner. The loser must KO a producer. So it just gives you a chance to keep your producer. Unexpected consequences. All agents on the field are switched to training position and may not be changed until their owner's next setup phase. Okay. I keep locking the board down, it looks like. Follow the leader. The agent's owner must roll a d6. All right, so first off, the trigger is an agent attacks your boss. So somebody's attacking your boss. The agent's owner must roll a d6. If the roll is even, the attack is canceled. If the roll is odd, the attack is canceled. And if you have a front line space open, the agent moves to your side of the field, now under your control. Wow. So you're either stopping an attack or you're stopping an attack and being like, hey, you're on my side now. I like it. I like what he's built here. Passionate encounter. This guy, and he's lovingly holding this chica or elfa, I can't tell. End the battle without determining a winner. Leave both battling agents engaged. Oh, it's sweet. Oh, Merry Christmas. Move target agent you control to your opponent's front line. Your opponent now controls that agent. I wonder if that has anything to do with like Fabio and Karen to like flip it over to your opponent without doing whatever it is you have to do. Wiping the board, Bedrock City Uprising. I wonder if that has anything to do with Bedrock Comics. Destroy all agents of cost 2 or greater. Train all other agents. Meeting the Black Moon Man. All attacks this phase do double damage. The trigger is the action phase begins and there are 4 producers on the field. Wow. Alright, and the last card of this deck. Abner the First. He kind of looks like the little guy in the very beginning that we were looking at. Abner the First. The dice rolls of Abner's neighbors to the left will always default to 3. The rolls of Abner's neighbors to the right will always default to 2. Abner moves to target space in your opponent's front line. So Abner looks like he's making your opponent's characters. Like you use Merry Christmas to flip them over to your opponent, and then Abner is going to make it. You throw them in like a middle line, middle lane, so that they're always rolling. Their dice rolls will always default to 2 or 3, so it's very low, right on the d6. I like this. This deck is very board manipulation and discard, or mill, which is exactly what I was looking for. Looks really, really neat. And now we're going to switch over to the other deck that I was gifted. Real quick, you like. 1 second. Alright, so second deck. So this was Wind and Earth. Discard, board manipulation. A discard, mill, board manipulation. Quite a bit of discard as well. There we go. Alright, so this is, again, the cards, just like we had seen before. Bedrock City Uprising. Oh, here's a new one. Funeral. Oh, all agents on the field become engaged. Even the odds. Opponent's initiative is even. The opponent loses the initiative. Oh. Is it just me or? Engage all but one of your opponent's agents. You may pick which one. Ready one of your agents. So it's basically setting up your opponent. Hey Sebastian, thanks for watching over on Facebook. Checking out these really cool cards from Clan Wars. The King is Dead. Long live someone else. Draw cards until you draw a boss. Play that boss into your active boss space. Burn all other cards that were drawn. Okay. Your active boss was bribed. Ooh, okay. Playing God. Swap target player's active boss and producer. That opponent may not switch their active boss and producer this turn. So far, this deck has quite a few things dealing with the boss. And setting up that in case something happens. The player plays a boss card onto the field. The opponent must end the current phase and immediately skip to the end phase. During an opponent's turn, that player rolls an odd number. Oof. The Coven is watching. And again, the art on these is just fantastic. Stop fighting. Cancel the attack. Alright, so the trigger is an opponent declares an attack. Cancel the attack, and any agent involved in the battle remains engaged. Oh, Merry Christmas. You saw that with the cutesy little girl and the wacky demon. Ooh, the priestess requires heads. Alright, so select target agent controlled by the opponent. Oh, sorry. Trigger. Your agent was bribed. Boop. Select target agent controlled by opponent who bribed your agent. Take control of that agent and move it to your front line. You cannot select the agent they... Alright, so there's a typo right there. You cannot select the agent they bribed? Oh, so the one that went over. End the battle without determining a winner. Oh, again, passionate encounter. Sweet little Elfie. Main character dude. Ooh, here's a new one. For my next trick. This has been a lot of those action cards. Way more than the other deck. You may rearrange target opponent's entire front line. So take their lanes and just... The player has 3 agents side by side. Give them the old shell game. Bad vibes. The trigger is opponent plays a boss. Roll a d6 to determine X. Target player yeets to X. Anything that yeets. Anything that yeets, I want. Voices in the Wind. Here goes a new one. The trigger is an opponent burns a boss card. That opponent must yeet X cards equal to the cost of your opponent's burned boss. Anything that yeets. I promise. I promise. Mourning for those lost. Search your deck for either a trigger or an agent card. Reveal it to your opponent, then add it to your hand. Reshuffle your deck. We've seen Follow the Leader. I like it. Unexpected Consequences is a new card. The trigger, an agent enters the grave. All agents on the field are switched to training position and may not be changed until their owner's next setup phase. Chain Reaction, another new one. Trigger, an agent deals damage and its controller has more than one agent in play. The damage is redirected to the closest agent to its right. If I can't have you, the trigger is your agent was bribed. KO the bribe. Nope. Not taking any agents today. KO the bribed agent. Like, stop that. No. No, no. Let's play my game instead. We've already seen this card. Alright, now we're getting into the agents, producers, and bosses. So here goes Nixie, bidimensional secretary. Okay. Very demure, very mindful. When when Nixie is your active boss, oh, she's a boss. She's a boss. All agents in your hand and field become universal, and all agents your opponent controls gain stumble. I like it. Another Earth. If Nixie would be destroyed, bounced, or KO'd, you may choose a producer you control to take her place. Oh, okay. At the start of Lord Cyberon. I'm gonna go Cyberon. Lord Cyberon. Passive, at the start of every action phase, destroy an agent you control. If you cannot, then Lord Cyberon gets bounced. Triggered, each time an agent or boss you control enters your grave. Ooh. It becomes your tech card. So you're trying to, right? Every turn you are destroying an agent you control. So every turn when that happens, it becomes your tech card. Cost 2, so this is something you pay for. At the start of your setup phase, destroy an agent you control. So you can trigger twice. More than twice, because that's at every action phase. Destroy an agent you control. If you do, you may use tech cards to alter your first damage roll this turn. Oof. Alright, I see him comboing. Hey, Miros the Blessed. I have one of these already. So Miros the Blessed, his passive is lane rivals of Miros cannot attack. Perform special effects, intercept attacks, be attacked, or be targeted to be dealt direct damage. They're just there. Master Nero. Again, if you're looking at the art in these cards, they're just great. He's done a phenomenal job gathering these things. Master Nero, Soul Resaler. While Master Nero is the active boss and has no producers, your opponent may not activate trigger cards. Burn, baby, burn. Alright, I said this in my head, but it's still Bruisley Guru, Hulk out. So he has a triggered effect. When Bruisley Guru becomes a producer during your setup phase, all agents you control get +1 in battle for that turn. Make them big. Ooh, Bellator. Bellator. The Little Tyke. His passive is your agents get 2 tries to win a battle against other agents. Got some keywords. Executioner and Overachiever. Knock that across. Sergeev the Disturbed. He looks disturbed. Passive, agents get +1 to battle rolls when attacking a boss directly. So this is kind of cool. I see these fighter combos. Los the Unseen. Once per turn, punch to the soul deals 3 damage. Split up in any way. Oh, once per turn. Punch to the soul. Deal 3 damage, split up in any way you choose among any number of agents you choose. Oh, but he's just dealing damage. I like it. Oh, okay, so here's another Bruce Lee. Go back real quick. Bruce Lee Hulk Out. Bruce Lee Guru Hulk Out. Bruce Lee Guru Battle Breaker. So here is the same character, different forms, like we had seen in the other deck. Really like that. Triggered effect. When Bruce Lee Guru moves to the producer space, he battles every agent your opponent controls. Hashtag welcome to the Kumite. Passive. As a producer, all battle damage taken by Bruce Lee is reduced to 1. So he is just straight eating hits. And if you combo it just right, he's going to jump in, have several plus attacks. +1 if he's attacking a boss directly. This doesn't count for that because it's agent. +1 attack, and I'm sure there's other cards in here that combo off of that. Fighting an agent gets 2 tries, so he's doubling up. Sort of like a double strike. And then his passive, as a producer, all battle damage taken by Bruce Lee Guru is reduced to 1. So he's got 4 HP. If he's popping every single one, and there's like 3 on the board, you're surviving that hit. So that's he's popping everybody. I like it. He's mean. He's so angry. Why is he so angry? I need to see if there's a world book on this. I like it. We've seen Grandolfu, Necessary Evil. Mwahahahahahaha. Ooh, here goes a new one for me. Penny Painbringer. If Penny wins a battle, her damage roll is doubled. If Penny loses the battle, reduce your opponent's damage roll by 2. Oh, okay. Kalendor? Kalendor. I'm going to say Kalendor, the assassin. Oh, yeah. When Kalendor enters the grave, she holds a death match with the target agent from the opponent's grave. If Kalendor wins, she returns to the field. If there are no agents in the opponent's grave, Kalendor wins by default. Oh, okay. So she's like first out. She immediately pops back onto the field. And I would think that a death match is a battle. And she's an agent fighting another agent. Do we get +1? From these combos, I like it. I really like it. Like, there's a lot of thinking in this. Viper Kai. Every action phase that Viper Kai has a lane rival agent. The lane rival agent gets a -2 to its battle rolls due to the sheer intimidation by the Viper Kai. I love it. Hoaxer. If Hoaxer intercepts an attack and the attack rolls even, Hoaxer automatically wins the battle. and the millions of Hulkamaniacs in the crowd go wild. This game is so awesome. This game is so awesome. Look how... And the millions and millions of Hulkamaniacs in the crowd go wild. Ooh, Street Fighters. Street Fighters get +2 to all damage rolls. Elkino. Elkino is too scary, so he cannot be attacked while training. Elkino requires 2 turns of uninterrupted training to learn his specialty. When in battle against other agents, Elkino can only be defeated if the opponent rolls a 4 or a 6. Otherwise, Elkino wins the battle. So there were cards that made it so that the opponent only can roll a 2 or a 3. Like anytime they roll, they automatically get a 2 or a 3. Offset with this Kino, they're never going to win a battle against Kino. Otherwise, Elkino wins the battle. Love it. Ooh. I think I have a Carmen already. Carmen the Knower. When Carmen enters the field, any agent that is a lane rival of Carmen becomes your tech card. Oh, just my tech. This slashy slash. Ooh, look. She ready to slash. I love that weapon. That long-handled blade. Probably weighted on the end. When Des enters the field, she immediately battles target agent. This is not an attack. Both agents become engaged in battle. If Des wins, KO a different target agent instead of the one she battled. Des's attacks may not be intercepted. Oh. Wow. I'm going to read this again because I just realized she comes in, swings, and beats a smaller one, a smaller agent, a younger agent, a not so mindful agent. And when she KOs, when she wins, because you're always going to play her to defeat a lesser agent, she gets to take KO a different one than she battled. That is a mean card, and I love it. Absolutely love it. How cute this one is. BB Force of Peace. In addition to your setup phase, BB may be played during your opponent's setup phase. On the turn that BB enters the field, no attacks can be declared. So she's a fog. BB Force of Peace is just like, no, let's just take it easy and eat s'mores. I like it. Oh, it's your turn? Alright, you're gonna big swing back? I don't think so. BB. Ooh. Dr. Pantheus Piddleboom. When Dr. Pantheus Piddleboom enters the field, place it on your opponent's front line. If Dr. Pantheus Piddleboom has been played into your front line, you must move another agent you control to your opponent's front line and place it under your control. At your end phase, if you control Dr. Pantheus Piddleboom, every other agent you control takes 1 point of damage. Yowza. Boss Lady. Boss Lady. Transdimensional hotels? Transdimensional hotels? Huddles? As long as Boss Lady is under your control, you may bribe any opponent agent for half their bribe cost. That's what that has to be. That's bribe cost. You can bribe any opponent agent for half their bribe cost, rounded up. Yowza. It doesn't even, like, she can be anywhere on the board. Ooh, the superhero. While you control the superhero, your opponent cannot play agents with a cost of 2 or less. Each turn you control the superhero, your active boss loses 1 HP permanently. Destroy a neighbor to move the superhero target frontline space under your opponent's control. Destroy a neighbor to move the superhero to target frontline space under your opponent's control. So you flip them over to your opponents. Again, a lot of this dealing it over to your opponent, catching your opponent with your cards. Le Piloteau. While Le Piloteau is on the field, all agents you control may perform their trained ability without the need to have been trained. So there are several cards in here. Obviously, you take a turn to train, and then you gain your trained special ability. Elkino, the one that did the only wins against Elkino on a 4 or 6, he automatically gets his trained ability with Le Piloteau out. Anita, Curls of Rampage. When Anita enters the field, any producer that is a lane rival of Anita becomes your tech card. Oof. Board control. Oh, Henry, Monty Magician. When Henry intercepts an attack, your opponent must destroy all L&L trigger card if any remain. A L&L trigger card if any remain. Your opponent may not activate trigger cards while Henry is engaged. All right. Little squirrely kid. Oh! So I have him already. I'll read him, but when I was showing my friends the cards, this was the card that he was like, I gotta play that card. I don't care what he does. I don't care. Rocco Balbino. When Rocco enters the grave, so after he's been KO'd, roll a d6. If you roll even, Rocco returns to the field with +2 to battle. This ability may only be used once per match. Once per match is all Rocco needs to kick your... Right there on the card. It's right there on the card. Oh, these cards are so fun. Cecilio. Any opponent that can attack Cecilio cannot perform any other action. At the end of the action phase, any agent who could attack Cecilio but didn't is instantly KO'd. Cecilio has +3 to battle and +2 to damage. Ugh. Oh, look, here goes another one that I got. Van Damage. When Van Damage enters the field with a kick-ass look on his face, he immediately battles target agent. If Van Damage wins, he returns to ready position and mocks the loser. If he loses, it's because his opponents cheated somehow, and Van Damage returns to your hand without being dealt damage. This ability can only be used once per turn. Van Damage, the Unkillable. Tag Team. So this is a card. This is an agent or boss, or it's not just an action. Tag Team. Every action phase that Tag Team has neighbors to the right and left, Tag Team gets 3 tries to win in battle. Booyah! And the last card, Indy Amaria. As long as all your frontline spaces are occupied, ND wins every battle, no matter what. That's it. Card text overrules rules. As long as all your frontline spaces are occupied, ND wins every battle. The cards are fantastic. The art is amazing. So many of the flavor is meta and stepping outside the boundaries of the game. This is different. This is new. This is something that I haven't seen since the spoils, where the spoils were real tongue-in-cheek and funny and talking about things in everyday life for us, not for the world of the game. So these characters, these little quips, due to the sheer intimidation by the Viper Kai. This is what sets this game apart. This is what makes this game different, in that it's fun, it's cheeky, it's very, very aggro, right? You're deliberately trying to scrap your opponent, just beat him to the ground mercilessly. It's the exact opposite of Lorcana, where Lorcana is a resource management game and you're trying to gain as many resources as possible. So yeah, I think this game has got quite a bit of gas in the tank. I think it's going to be a lot of fun for a lot of different people to play and try out, and to look into something different. I mean, Magic's been around for a really long time. We've got Universal Fighting System, the My Hero Academia, that's where that comes from. Pokemon Worlds just happened. Yu-Gi-Oh! Worlds just happened. I'm trying to think. All those Bandai games that are coming out, the Aegis Creative Company keeps holding amazing events for those. I'm going to have to get Aegis in contact with Clan Wars, because I think that this is the next game that's going to be hitting a lot of tables. I mean, I was gifted these two decks, and I was gifted quite a few extra cards, and I want more, because I want to see what else is in the set. I want to see all the cool, funny little gags. I want to see all the little meta pieces of fluff that are available. EB Force of Peace, yeah. See, he's giving me several of these cards already, and then there were still cards in there that I didn't see. Oh, look, here goes a good one. I have no idea how to pronounce that. Chozoguro's Evil Chicken. When this chicken enters the field, deal 2 damage. How cruel. To each other agent on the field. If any agent is KO'd as a result, deal 1 damage. How terrible. To each other agent on the field. If any agent is KO'd as a result, deal 1 damage. How evil. To each other agent on the field. Like, these cards weren't just made for playing the game. These cards are meant to have fun. These cards are not taking themselves seriously. These cards are really turning this into a meta frenzy, is what I feel like it is. It's more. It's off the wall. It's bonkers. It's going to be the card game that people enjoy to lose to, because there's just so much crazy stuff going on. The Wind of Yang. I haven't seen this one. Another one that yeets cards. Remember, I told you I'm gonna be yeeting stuff all over the place. All the Wind Manipulator. Oh, Tyke Mycin. We didn't see him in the other deck. Tyke Mycin. During your opponent's action phase, if Tyke Mycin is the active boss and is attacked, it gets 2 chances to win the battle with a killer uppercut. Meta. And I'm not talking about what everybody's playing. These cards step over the boundaries. These cards are breaking the 4th wall. I love it. Rocky Balbino, we saw. Ooh, False Prayer. All agents in training are immediately destroyed. Whoopsies. Ooh, Red Rider from the Hood. The thought that went into all these different cards, the creativity is oozing off of these things, and I absolutely love it. I'm gonna have to get in contact with Clan Wars to get a demo. I know they hit Fat Ogre a lot, so sometime this month or the next time they head out to Fat Ogre on a hopefully a weekend. My weekdays are, if I'm not streaming, I'm working or taking care of the nerd brats. But I definitely want to see more of this game. Look at these cards. And so something that's really neat is, like at the bottom of most card games, I've got, here we go. At the bottom of most card games, thank you, Alex, for getting me these Pokemon cards. My favorite Pokemon is Nidoking, so here's a Nidoqueen. You'll see like the set where they came from, the year that they were printed, and things like that. The cards that they sent me were printed. I don't know if I can get. There we go. Were printed this year, and they are a playtest series. So we are on the front lines of what this card game is going to do. Is what it's going to be. This is the first set that he is making available. And again, it is so neat that he goes to different game stores, that he goes to different places and demos, runs tournaments. I mean, he shipped me 2 decks to try out. Now you can't ask for something more than to try the game, right? He's got these really cool little files on Instagram. He's got these reels or whatever they're called on Instagram that show you how to play the game, that show you different card combos. Him going out to different game stores and meeting people and really doing this grassroots movement to get this game up and running. So I can't wait to see him and where this game goes over the next few months, years, decades, if he's lucky, because I think this is the next Spoils. I think that this is the next card game that people aren't aware is good and need to try out. Very excited to have some decks, to learn the game, get my nerd bros to try it out, because they absolutely love this meta stuff. They love the off the wall crazy. We got a little tired of other card games like Marvel Champions and Arkham Horror. We sort of slowed down on those. We're picking it back up with Lorcana. Very excited because we're going to do co-op and multiplayer. But I think that this Clan Wars TCG is going to be the way to have fun battling each other and not get tilted and not take it too seriously, because you have to have a sense of humor to get knocked out by Tyke Myson. Hey, look, there he is. Sebastian Aguilar says that we'll crack some packs. Get hollows. Hollows! Oh! Oh my goodness. The cards are already crazy enough as they are. Give awards to watchers? Yeah, absolutely. Look, he even wants to give y'all guys some cards, which I am totally okay for. I'm working on getting the stream up and running so that he can Discord into it. I've done it before, but I completely forgot how to do it, and it messed up since my last stream scheme. But absolutely, Sebastian over on Facebook is messaging and saying that he wants to crack packs on the stream. He wants to get and give away awards and hollows to everybody that's watching and that's interested in the game. So if you're watching this live on Facebook, Twitch, or YouTube, give a like, follow here, and then go over to Instagram and like Clan Wars TCG. I'll put a link up on my Facebook page and here later tonight, because this is really, really incredible and really, really cool. Oh, and Sebastian says to write him and he will make it happen. So Sebastian, I'm definitely going to continue to contact you, keep in contact so we can do all this fun stuff and continue to see where Clan Wars goes. Soon to have a new name, by the way. Oh, okay, so he's coming up with something else. So this game is still in development, still growing, still becoming, still gaining momentum, which is what I really like, right? It's not mass-produced. You can't buy it on Amazon. You can't really get it anywhere other than Sebastian. And Sebastian is legitimately giving these things away so that people will try and enjoy his game. And that's the kind of person that I want making my games. It's somebody that's like, look, I just want people playing it for right now. Here goes a deck. Here goes some pre-cards. Here goes a pamphlet on how to play. Here goes 2 decks. Go give one to a friend and play, and then bring more so that we can get the community up and rolling. Sebastian, thank you very much. It's really cool. I can't wait to learn the game from you. I can't wait to play the game with some people over at Fat Ogre and the other stores that you like. And he says it right here on Facebook. He says he's going to do it grassroots, and he is not going to go to Kickstarter until he has a passionate community, because again, I'm not a big fan of Kickstarter because they put out things without thinking about the community a majority of the time. And if you have a community behind it and you're building the game for the community, the game is going to preserve itself. I really like that idea. This is going to end today's stream. Thank you, Sebastian, for coming on Facebook and talking on the stream. You can see him in the chat going off, loving, I guess, what he saw. Sebastian, I promise I'm going to do more. I'm going to learn how to play the game. I'll do a how to play here on the stream in the next month or so after you teach me and show me the ways. And then after I discover exactly what yeet means, because if it means what I think it means, I want every single yeet mechanic possible. So I want to thank y'all very much for watching, for joining me again after the hiatus from Hurricane Barrel. We're back. I will be streaming at least once a week, more if I can, and I can't wait to see more and more of y'all playing the games that I love. Today we did Clan Wars TCG, coming out with a new name soon, but I know it is Clan Wars, and we will see even more from Sebastian and the group later. So thank y'all very much. Have a good night, and remember, walls up, walls ahead, rubble behind.